showed in multiple other YouTube videos that pre-rinsing a car actually does nothing but waste water. So take your time with the rinse off and you will get everything off the windows, you'll get everything off the paint. It was so hammered. So if we look at the before and after, it's so dramatic, so not a lot of labor. The car looks phenomenal. Took this car on a road trip. My kids wrote "wash me" all over it, so it's time to actually clean it. I'm going to show you the fastest, quickest, easiest way to clean a really dirty car like this. We hit some snow, we hit some weather, which is unusual. So first I'm going to hit it with just the Pure Magic cleaner on the rims, and I'm going to get this dwelling on the rims. So I'm only going to use about 4 different products, and in those 4 different products, I'm going to be able to not only clean this car, but also protect it as well with one of the best ceramic sprays on the market. And I'll explain why all these products are truly the best and easiest. And there's a lot of other videos I see talking about products that are, touchless or safe, use an all-purpose cleaner for this or an all-purpose cleaner for that. But really, a lot of that stuff could be really damaging to a lot of the plastics. This car doesn't have a lot of plastics, but plastic running boards and stuff like that. So I'm going to show you why using the JIMBO's detailing products not only are the safest option, but also the most effective option. And here's a big thing that a lot of people don't talk about is with this much dirt on the car. Now, it wasn't on a farm, nothing like that. But with that much dirt on the car, you really want to try to encapsulate as much of the dirt as possible first. So the first step after I used Pure Magic cleaner on the rims is I'm going to use the Super Soaper. Now I'm going to use the Super Soaper a couple different ways. I have 4 ounces in a foam cannon ready to go, and I have 2 ounces in an electric pump sprayer. And what I'm going to do with this, if you have bugs along the front, you could spray down the front like so. And then for mainly the lower portions of the car. And why I'm not pre-rinsing is because I've showed in multiple other YouTube videos that pre-rinsing a car actually does nothing but waste water. So anytime you see someone pre-rinsing, this also works on tires as well. Anytime you see someone pre-rinsing, it's just an outdated method. I'm going to show you how you can wash a car this dirty without ever even touching it. We're letting the chemicals do the work so that you're not doing all the work. This back part's really dirty, so it's really going to take some baking. But you can see the soap is already breaking down the dirt, which is exactly what we want it to do. Again, we want the chemical to do the work. We don't want you to have to spend all that extra hard labor doing it. So this pre-soaking is definitely key. And if it's way heavier and you need, to refill the bottle again, you can definitely do that. If you only want to do 1 ounce of soap in it, you can. If you only want to do 2 ounces of soap in the foam cannon, you could definitely do that too. And by the way, this is a rental car, so there is no protection on this car. None. Really didn't even want to clean it, but honestly, I can't drive around a dirty car, so. As you can see, I went around the whole car. Do it again. Just loosen everything up. I got a little bit more in here. But you could already see how it's starting to break everything down without me even touching it. Look at how much better it looks on the panel without me touching anything, right? And that's why you want a good pre-spray. Now, it's going to be a little bit higher of a pH, but it's not as damaging as an all-purpose cleaner would be. You could do it in direct sun. You could use all my products right in direct sun without any issue. And this pre-soaking is definitely a game changer if you haven't started to do it as a part of your wash routine, I definitely would highly recommend it. Look at all that dirt just coming out of there. All right, and we are pretty much out of pre-soak. And again, I just did the lower half of the car. The top half of the car, the super soaper will take care of that. And so that's where we can move on to now. We could grab our pressure washer. And I usually like to let the pre-soak sit for 3 to 5 minutes. I think that's a good way, but you could already see it can dry on the surface. I just don't love it to dry on the surface. You can see the Pure Magic cleaner starting to dry a little bit on the rims, which I never want to do. But you can already see on this lower half of the panel how much cleaner the car is than when we first started. So now we could take our 4 ounces in the foam cannon. Look at that foam, baby. Woo! There is no snow foam on the market that compares to the Super Soaper when it comes to the amount of foam, the effectiveness, the ease of use, the safety of it. There is no soap that even comes close on the market. You have the high pH, the low pH, but the reason why they have a low pH and a high pH is because they can't get it in one. They can't get one effective cleaner. And we were able to do that with the Super Soaper. Look at this. Dirt just flying off. A lot of that because we pre-soaked it. So you see how the dirt is encapsulated, and now with the Super Soaper foam on top of it, it's coming down even more. Look at that. I haven't even touched the car yet. That's what it's all about. Removing the dirt. Look at in this foam. All the dirt. So the pre-soak, if your car is really dirty and it's not summertime, you need to just do a summertime drive. You really need to do that pre-soak. The pre-soak will really help you. Okay, so now that we got the pre-soak, we got the foam on the car, you know what we haven't done? We haven't touched it. So how often have you seen someone just rinse their car and then they go straight into, whether it's the 2-bucket method or whatever method they're using, 3-bucket, 3 pH, whatever they're doing, they go straight into it. And for a long time, that has been the norm. And what I've started to realize is that's really not the safest way to wash your car. This is by far the safest way to wash your car, with a pre-soak, a good foam. And by the way, the foam hitting the surface of the car is right around neutral. So pH neutral. So what that means, what that translates as, is this is not going to harm any waxes, coatings, sealants, nothing like that. If you do want to strip it, say you're doing this as a ceramic coating prep soap, you can increase the pH of the soap by using more of it or by using less water. Okay, so, but this is a rental car, has no protection on it, but you could see the important things of a soap. So it's foamy, right, which everyone likes to see. It's clinging to the surface. It's encapsulating the dirt and dragging it off the surface of the car or removing it from the car, right? Again, my big thing is, let's make it easy, let's make it fun, and let's make it effective. And that's exactly what the JIMBO's detailing line of products are. Fast, fun, effective. Let's clean this tire, I'll show you. Look at that, the rim is clean, the inner barrels are cleaner than they were. I didn't touch it though, I didn't touch it. Tires are clean. The face of the rim is really clean. The barrels could be cleaner, but again, I didn't touch it. This is a rental car, the barrel's probably never been clean. But look at how much better that rim and tire looks, and all I did was spray chemical on it. That's it, I didn't sit there and scrub, I didn't take 20, 30 minutes per tire, none of that. Looks phenomenal. Same with this back one. Let's see. The tire looks phenomenal. The rim looks phenomenal. The barrel inside looks passable. Again, this is a rental car. I'm not spending 3 hours cleaning this thing. I just want it clean enough that I'm not embarrassed to drive it around. I want to get the wash me signs off, right? So of course, if you spend more time and you know, clean the barrels of the rims, yeah, of course it's going to be cleaner. But how close to clean can we get it without touching it? I think Pure Magic Cleaner is the most underrated wheel cleaner in the industry currently. Nothing that even comes close. Look at that. Tires look phenomenal. We'll start rinsing it. I'll show you. So the major thing with the Super Soaper that you got to pay a lot of attention to is the rinse off. So if you're getting any residue left over, it means you didn't rinse good enough. And so you want to pay a lot of attention to properly rinsing off the whole entire car. Okay? So take your time with the rinse off, and you will get everything off the windows, you'll get everything off the paint. And really just take your time washing down the car. But look at this door panel front fender. In fact, let me get a towel just to show you. We haven't touched it. We haven't done any of that. Grab Walmart microfiber towel off a roll. No dirt. There might be a little bit on here. Let's see. Lower panel was super dirty. Little bit of dirt, but not too bad, right? For how dirty it was. This may need a double foam, I guess. But again, we're not touching it at all. And there's no protection on the car. So if you did have tough as shell as a base layer of protection on the car, it might perform even better. Actually, the soap would definitely perform better if you had a base layer of protection, because then that dirt excuse me, is sitting on that protection. Let's keep rinsing. And what I'm going to do, because I use deionized water, is I'm going to let this car fully air dry, and then we'll come back and look at it. I'm going to let it fully air dry. Not going to touch it at all. And we're going to see how good it does. Morning. Especially on these really dirty parts like the back of the car where you saw where it was just horrible, you really want to make sure you're rinsing very, very thoroughly and taking your time to rinse it off. Because look, if you don't, there'll still be dirt that is coming out of the cracks and crevices, and that will, if that dries, that will look like dirt on the surface. So this is a perfect example of that. You see all this dirt coming off. You want to make sure that you're rinsing all that away as best you can, depending upon what your expectations for the soap are. But that's an example of making sure you're rinsing to get that all off. And by the way, this car, look at all this dirt. Needs to be clayed, needs to be polished, needs to be protected. And so what I'm going to do is return it better than I got it. Protected and ready to go. So there we go, a thorough rinse, but from a pre-treat to a foam to it not having any protection on the surface. Because I'm using deionized water, I'm just gonna let it air dry. I'll come back and then I'll show you how I'm going to protect the paint and how you could too. And then dress the tires as well to kind of protect the tires, make them look good as well. And only use 4 products to do a very simple, straightforward, easy maintenance wash / detail on a rental car. Okay, the car looks really solid. There are some little areas that could be touched up a little bit more, but overall for a no-touch solution, the car looks very clean. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go through the whole car now and use toughest shell, and mainly because I'm just driving this car. So again, it's all about not getting the car perfect. It's a rental car. If it was my personal car, because the car was so dirty, probably what I would do is I would do a contact wash or hit it with a waterless wash or something like that. But because it's just a rental car, it's clean enough, good enough, and it's in a really good spot to just add a little layer of protection. This car has hard water spots all over the place. Again, no protection. I probably shouldn't even add any protection at all to it, but you know, I like to add, I want it to be clean. So you can see on the back, there is some few spots that need to be touched up, but again, this was completely destroyed. So I'm getting some runs of soap. I probably didn't rinse it good enough. Don't really have any dirt per se, just some runs coming off. Overall, for a touchless solution, I am completely happy with this. You could touch up the glass separately, 100% okay with that, because it got the vast majority of the dirt off of it, way more than any normal pH neutral soap would. So that's incredible. What you could do is, if you wanted it a little bit better and you didn't want to just touch up the glass, you could re-wash the car with like a bucket wash after doing all this pre-soak, just to get it 100%. Again, this car's really jacked up as it is, and so I'm totally okay with going straight to my protection state, because considering everything the car is, again, left a little to be desired on the window, if I'm being totally honest, but it was so hammered. So if we look at the before and after, it's so dramatic, so not a lot of labor. The car looks phenomenal. So I'm just going to finish going through, adding toughest shell, the ceramic spray onto it, and then I'm going to add all dressed up to the tires, make it look pop, make it look really good, and that is a quick, easy way to clean up a thrash car. So like I said, we will be using all dressed up on the tires. There's a few different ways that I like to dress tires. The main way is just with an applicator. I sell these on the website as well. And then you could also use one of these green brushes, which are readily available. All dressed up is a multi-purpose shine spray. So it's a water-based dilutable tire shine that can be used across multiple areas of your car. So if you want to detail the engine bay and add a dressing, if you want to even dilute it down more and use it on the interior, you could use it on the interior. It works on vinyl seats, it works on running boards and side mirrors and window crowns, and it really is a multi-purpose shine spray. So I like to dilute it down. I give you the dilution ratios right on the back. If you want a satin or matte finish on a tire, you can go 4-to-1, interior 6-to-1, and really if you want it blinged out, you could just use it straight. So when it comes to dressing a tire, especially if it's a little bit of a knobbier tire like this, what I will do is I will spray it directly onto the tire. Now you're going to make a little bit more of a mess, but you actually use less product when you do it this way. And then you could take one of those black applicators and you could rub it right in, like so. Now, one thing, the reason why I like the applicator method more, where you could spray directly into the applicator. Of course, I like to have a little towel handy. Doesn't really matter if it dries on the rim, but you can take it off the rim like that. And so the reason why I like the applicator is I feel like in the brush sometimes you lose a lot of product into that, and then every once in a while you have to rinse it out. So I think the brushes are good, and especially if you've got a lot knobbier of a tire, they're going to be ideal to get like into the cracks and crevices like that. But more often than not, I find myself going for the applicator because you could just use less product. Use less product, you get much more of a consistent shine across the tire, and because you're kind of like wiping it down, you're wiping the tire down, it's not going to sling down the side of your car. So I'll show you on this rear tire, just spraying it directly into the applicator so that you don't get a bunch of sling all over the car, or sling all over the rim. And what I like to do is on the first pass, don't use a lot of pressure. The first pass, we're just trying to get as much tire shine on the tire as possible, and then you can kind of come back in and detail it and press a little bit harder and work it in a little bit. And if you can't quite get your hand under this part of the tire down here, you can always roll the tire back, or roll the car back a few inches, and make sure you get that even, consistent shine. But to me, there's no better look to finish off a car than with some shine on the tires. I'm not a fan of matte tires myself. I like a nice shine like that, not overly blinged. It's just a very professional look. That's why I put the guy in a tuxedo, but still wearing shorts. It's just a nice, finished, polished look. If we go back to the front tire, it's not overly shiny. It's definitely not matte. If you wanted to layer it, you could instantly add another layer onto it. If you want more shine, dilute it a little bit less. But again, in my opinion, this is just a way to make your car look all dressed up. So that's how you could simply use 4 different products to get your car clean and protected, looking great. This rental car looks way better than when I picked it up. It's all clean, it's protected for the next person, which does absolutely nothing for me, but hey, I'm a nice guy, right? So I will make sure to link all the products that I use below in the description. You can support the channel and get some of the best detailing products, I think, in my opinion, and support the channel. So thanks for watching. Catch you guys on the next one. See ya.